Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank you for joining us today at today's University Progression webinar. My name is Rebecca Bewley. I am Head of Partnerships and Product Development at NCC Education, and I am delighted to share and host today's session, which is focused on university admissions to Japan. We have two very special guests from Nagoya University of Commerce and Business and Kyoto University of Advanced Sciences. I'm very delighted to share today's session. We will start with an overview of NCC Education before we move on to our special guest speakers. And then we will also hear from Stacey from Quill Learning about applications and admissions support. Just in terms of a bit of housekeeping, you will notice that microphones are muted in the session. This is just to ensure smoothness of the running order, but if you have any questions, we are very keen to answer them. So please put those in the chat function. The Q&A function is also enabled, so whichever you prefer. You can also use the chat function to let us know where you are joining us from today. If you are from one of NCC Education centres, if you're a student or a prospective student, please do let us know where you're joining from today. Okay, so as I said, I will begin with an introduction to NCC Education. So NCC has a very long established heritage, having been founded in 1966 as part of a British government initiative as the National Computing Centre. We have been working as a privatised higher education organisation for over 30 years now. And today we work with a network of over 260 educational partners across the globe, offering our British qualifications at local study centres. Our model is built around flexibility and accessibility, so students can study through a combination of traditional face-to-face delivery, but also distance learning, and supported by our high-quality teaching and learning materials based here in the UK. We work closely with a range of institutions, so to ensure academic guidance, quality oversight, and partnership support. And importantly, our qualifications are designed as part of a fully integrated pathway. So students can start at various different points and progress step by step towards higher education, including full bachelor's degrees and even postgraduate study as well. So when students choose NCC Education, it's not just a qualification, it is a structured, internationally recognised pathway. So at NCC Education, we specialise in computing and business qualifications, areas that are highly valued by employers and by universities globally. So one of the key strengths of the programmes is that every qualification is designed with progression in mind. So students are not just studying in isolation, they're working towards direct entry opportunities at universities around the world. And of course, today's focus is on universities in Japan, which we're very excited to hear about. I know we have lots of sessions with our UK universities and some across the US as well. So we're very excited to be expanding across the globe with our university network. We also have progression and articulation opportunities across, as I mentioned, the US, Australia, Canada, Malaysia and Singapore. And we are actively working to ensure that students have these different progression opportunities at every stage. And we are looking to expand those subject disciplines from foundation and diploma qualifications. So it means that they're all widely recognised. It's not just universities recognising those qualifications, employers, industry are also looking to recognise the qualifications because they know they've been designed with employment and career progression in mind. So ultimately, students can choose to study locally and progress through degree pathways, or study abroad, or even combine both, whichever is most accessible and most flexible for them. We move on to the next slide, please, Stacey. And in terms of our university progression routes, we do offer a brochure which is provided, published each year. It's provided on our website, and it gives a really good overview of where you can progress to with NCC Education diplomas, and it gives some information about entry qualifications and the necessary contact details as well for those universities when applying to university. It's just a screenshot of one of the contents showing one of the universities there, Nagoya University of Commerce and Business. So with that, I think that's a good time to now hand over to our very special guest, Bernice Minjute, who's going to talk to us today all about Nagoya University of Commerce and Business.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Bernice. I work in the admissions office here at Nagoya University of Commerce and Business in the undergraduate school. I'm happy to speak with everyone today, give an introduction of what NUCB undergraduate school is about, and of course about our global BBA program. Yeah, so maybe next slide. Oh, yeah. Maybe the next slide to show like what our schools look like. Sorry. So yes, NUCB, the Nagoya University of Commerce and Business undergraduate school in particular, the one in the middle, was founded in 1953 by Yuichi Kurimoto. He was actually the first international student to graduate from the University of Alberta in Canada. So he was very inspired by his time in Canada, and he brought this inspiration back to Japan and developed his own school. So over the past 80 years, our university has gained a worldwide reputation as a premier educational institution. And our mission is guided by a frontier spirit. It's to develop leaders and entrepreneurs with a global perspective, advanced management skills, and high ethical standards that will equip our students to succeed in bridging the gap between Japan and the rest of the world. So the NUCB undergraduate school is the first undergraduate school that in Japan, and one of only 5 business schools worldwide to hold the prestigious AACSB accreditation. So the other accreditations like AA and the AMBA accreditation and the EQUIS accreditation, those belong to the NUCB Business School. So for students who graduate from our undergraduate school, many of them do choose to go on to the business school. So it's like a smooth progression. Yeah, so next slide. Yeah, so on this page here, you can see the programs that are highlighted in green. Those programs are the ones that are taught entirely in English. I'll talk specifically about the Global BBA program today. So next, please. Oh, sorry, I talked about this already, so next as well. I'm really sorry. So our faculty, we have quite an international faculty. Over 40% of them, as of spring of this year, are international faculty. Over 70% of them are PhD holders from some of these universities listed below, and over 50% of them are practitioners. So what that means is that they don't just have the theoretical knowledge, but they also have the practical knowledge. And that's what we want to inspire in our students as well. Yes, so that's why we use the case study method at our university, which I'll explain a little bit more about later. I think the next slide will be about where we are. So our school, we're located in Greater Nagoya, which is Japan's 3rd most populous city and home to some of Japan's greatest concentration of automobile, fine ceramics, aerospace, and other high-tech industries. I'm sure many of you might have heard of Toyota. Toyota is actually Japan's largest automobile manufacturer, and it was established here in Aichi Prefecture, very close to where our university is. So we are not just an economic hub, but we're also a transportation hub, really quite the economic center of Japan. And So yeah, this is a picture of our campus. From the top, we are quite a massive campus. We're 1.5 times the size of Tokyo Disneyland. It's a sprawling campus, all in one campus. So all classes are on campus. If you have any after school activities, they'll all take place on campus as well. So I'll move on to talk about the Global BBA program. So we have over 3,000 students in total at our university, and 20% of them are international students. And most of them, or almost all of them, are in the Global BBA program here. So there are over 400 international students. These include like students in the Global BBA program, full-time students, double degree students, and also exchange students who come for like a semester or so. Including the business school side, we have 77 nationalities represented at our university. So very, very diverse school, student body, very, very interesting like perspectives that students get to hear in class all the time. So the Global BBA program, it is a 4-year degree program that's taught entirely in English. So BBA would be a bachelor's in business administration. It's quite, I guess, a broad degree, but in our program, we want to build like a strong foundation for all our students in all these different aspects of business. So in the first 2 years, we'll give all students, we'll build a strong foundation in all these aspects of business, as you can see on screen. And then in the third year onwards, students can decide like, well, I'm actually more interested in entrepreneurship or in sustainability in business. They can start taking specialized courses related to that. And also, we have opportunities for students to go on overseas internships or local internships if they want to, and international exchange programs. So we have exchange agreements with nearly 200 world-class universities around the world, and also a growing number of double degree partners. So I'll speak more about that later. I'm not sure how am I doing for time? It's okay. Okay.
All
So
okay, yeah.
the Global BBA curriculum. So as I mentioned before, the first 2 years, we set the timetable so students don't get to choose. But in the third year onwards, students can start to decide what they want to specialize in business. And for us, we have quite an interesting school calendar. So each class is 200 minutes long, which sounds a little bit crazy compared to other universities or traditional like classes. But I will explain why each class is so long in a while. But because each class is so long, we are able to get through the term a little bit faster, and that's why we have quite a long winter break for our students. The next slide, please. So here's what I really want to emphasize. Our university uses the case study method instead of a traditional lecture method. So how the case study works is students will be given a case book before like every class. So they have to read up on these cases before every class. So for example, each case will be about a product or a brand. It will follow a story, or it will follow like a case protagonist. So for example, Toyota. How did Toyota go from making cotton to making cars? It'll be about 10 to 15 pages long. Students read up on this before class, come to class prepared with their ideas, what they want to talk about. And in the class, it's 200 minutes. So the professor is not going to lecture for all 200 minutes. What they do is facilitate. They flip the classroom. So in the first 10 minutes, they introduce theory, business concepts that they want to focus on. And the rest of the class, there'll be a lot of other interactive elements. So there'll be class discussions, small group discussions, big class discussions, as you can see in the picture. A lot of talking with your classmates, exchanging of ideas. There's also activities. You have to do presentations. Sometimes, depending on the lesson, you might have to go around the campus to work on small projects. Yeah, so very, very interactive, very dynamic learning environment. And also because we use the case method, 70% of a student's grades will be based on class participation. So it's very important for students to turn up to class prepared, and turn up to class ready to speak and share, because it's not going to be enough to just turn up and not participate in the class. And there is, I will generally, there are no exams at our university. The rest of the 30% will be based on like reports, activities, small quizzes, but there will be exams if the class is related to calculations. So yeah, that's how they kind of judge a student's learning. So yeah, so next slide, please. So as I mentioned before, each class is 200 minutes long, but don't worry, so we only have one class a day, one class a day, um, 5 times a week for the first year students. So this is an example schedule for first year students. Of course, it's not going to be continuous 200 minutes. There will be breaks. And of course, after your class is over, students can choose to do whatever they want to do. And also Japanese language learning, because our university, this global BBA program is taught entirely in English. Students don't necessarily need to have any Japanese ability, but we do integrate the Japanese language into classes so that students, they can have fulfilling lives outside of class, make friends, participate in hobbies. And also for students who wish to work in Japan in the future, Japanese proficiency is quite important. So we do encourage students to continue with their Japanese learning, not just in school, but outside as well. So another thing to mention is the Japanese language classes. They are mandatory for first year students, but in the second year onwards, it becomes optional. But yes, I do encourage students to continue. So next slide, please. So these are just some pictures of what our university grounds look like. Some buildings, we do have a bus stop on campus, so students can travel easily in and out of school. And then next slide, I have pictures of what classes look like. So as you can see, it's a lot of speaking, a lot of interaction. Professors themselves are very easy to approach. So if you have any questions, it's easy to talk to them in class. They go around as well. So in small group discussions, they go around to each group. So if you don't want to ask them your question in front of everybody, you can discuss your ideas with them in small group discussions. Yep. And so we also do have a lot of cultural enrichment and volunteering programs available for international students. The International Affairs Department, they organize a lot of events. We also do have like a student-led organization that helps to bring the international students and Japanese students together on small trips so that they can practice Japanese together, exchange culture, exchange language. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, we do have international programs overseas. I'm sorry, this is not updated. It should be almost 200 partner schools. Uh, I'm not sure if I have enough time, so maybe I will move on to the next slide. So yes, double degree program. We also do have a double degree program. So students can choose to do like 2 years, the first 2 years here at NUCB, and then the next 2 years in Ireland, France, or Taiwan at any of our partner schools listed here. So with this, students can graduate with 2 diplomas at the end of the same 4 years. And yeah, so we also do have quite an active career support center. So for international students, especially, we understand that like many of them might choose to go back to their own countries. In that case, the job hunting situation might be slightly different. But if they choose to stay in Japan, the career support center does have a lot of does help to provide a lot of students with more weapons. So how to write a CV for Japan, how to attend like seminars, for example. And also they organize a lot of opportunities for students to take part in internships, not just in Japan, but overseas. Next, please. So we do have students that choose to go back home and work in their home countries, students who work in Japan, and also students, a lot of our students actually choose to move on to higher education. And next, so these are the fees for this year, so 2026. But for 2027 intake, it's subject to change. For 2027, the fees will be 4.6 million yen for the 4 years. And the next slide is living costs in this area, Nagoya. So compared to big cities like Tokyo and Osaka at least, it is a little bit more affordable for students to live in this area. Of course, each student, this is just like um estimation because it depends on each student's lifestyle. But of course, this is in general what it will be like for students living here. There are dorms available. So the students are usually allocated into two dorms, either Sambongi or Meito. I will say dorms are not guaranteed, but if students are allocated to a dorm, they will be given a dorm scholarship, which helps to cover a portion of their monthly rent. So yeah, so these are just some images of what the dorms look like. This is Sambongi dorm. It's for male students. The next one is also Sambongi, but there's a separate building for female students. And the last one is Meito dorm. This is a co-ed dorm, but of course it's each floor is segregated by gender. And this one is much closer to the city and further away from school. So also for application, we are opening application for the 2027 intake in June. So if you're interested, you can look at the just copy the QR code and look at the application guide. But in general, we accept all nationalities. What we require for students to be eligible to apply is at least 12 years equivalent of education. So graduated from high school or equivalent, which here I would see as like the NCC Level 3, International Foundation Diploma for Higher Education Studies. And also English proficiency, we need like IELTS 6.0 and above. I understand that NCC is all taught in English. So, and like the level 3 is equivalent to like A levels. So if you have done at least 3 years of formal education in English, then you can apply for a waiver for the English proficiency tests. But if not, we need IELTS 6.0 and above with no band below 5.5. We do accept other tests as well. You can check our application guide. And then on the next page, this is generally the flow. So check your eligibility, submit your application online, pay the application fee, and then you submit your documents. So what we require is a recommendation letter, essays, two essays. So one is a statement of purpose. Why do you want to study business and why study business at NUCB? And then also there are two other essay questions for you to choose from. And then if you pass the document screening, you will be invited to an interview with our faculty member. So that's just a short 15-20 minute interview where they'll try to get to know more about you beyond your application. So ask you, well, how was your high school life like? What is your learning style? Do you know about the case study method? And could you explain more about what you wrote in your essays? So just trying to get to know each student a little bit more. Yeah, so that's the basic flow of admissions here at NUCB. We do have rolling admissions, so it depends. We try to give students as much choice and flexibility as possible of when they want to apply. So do take note of each date. We do have two intakes as well for the spring and fall. So with this many options, please just take a look at which date works for you best. Yes, and I think that is so yes, scholarships. So for each student, there will be a MacBook, not necessarily an Air, it depends on which device is available that year for intake, but each student will receive a MacBook to help with their studies. Pre-entrance and also international dormitory scholarship, which I mentioned before. There's also the tuition reduction scholarship. This is dependent on your application. So it needs to be your grades need to be really good, extracurricular involvement, well-written essay, and if you perform well in the interview, you might be nominated for this scholarship. But it is quite competitive because it's open to students all over the world and also the Japanese students. Post-entrance, if you keep your grades up, you might have a chance to get the President or Founder Scholarship. Other than that, if you're coming from overseas, you will most likely be eligible for the JESO scholarship and other scholarships from local government organizations. And the school does provide subsidies for airfares if you choose to do an overseas exchange program or overseas internship program. Yep, so sorry, I see a question. Non-Japanese speakers take mandatory classes. Are there third languages available? Not at the moment. Not electives for the first year students. Even Japanese who have Japanese skills, even students with Japanese skills will have to take Japanese lessons. They're just split into different levels. So you will have to take like a placement test before coming. So you might be placed into a more like advanced class. But yes, so thank you. If you have any further questions, you can email the admissions office here at intl_adm@nucb.ac.jp.
Thank you so much, Bernice. Thank you for that wonderful presentation. Are you okay to stick around to the end to join us for further questions and answers? If anyone, has any further questions, please continue to put those in the chat. Thank you. Without further ado, I would like to introduce Kiyoshi Takeda, who is Director of International Admissions at Kyoto University of Advanced Science.
Hello, everyone. Excuse me. Hello, everyone. My name is Kiyoshi Takeda. I'm the Director of the International Admissions Office of Kyoto University of Advanced Science. And I am very pleased to introduce English standard programs at the KUS and engineering, bioscience, and the business programs. So if you are really good at both physics and math, then definitely you should think about our engineering program. And if you are really like chemistry or biology, and if you are taking chemistry or biology at the NCC level 3 currently, you should think about bio. And lastly, if you are good at math, and then definitely you should think about business programs. And I will go talk about it in details later, shortly. So today in my presentation, I'd like to cover all of this agenda. So for those who are not familiar with the map of Japan, if you take a look at the map on the right-hand side, you see where Kyoto is, and Kyoto is uniquely also conveniently located in the middle of Japan, and that has a great access to major cities like Osaka, Tokyo, that has international airports. Next, please. So our KUS has two beautiful campuses. One is Kameoka, which is home to our bio-environmental sciences programs, and also Uzumasa, which is home to our engineering and business programs. Next, please. KUS is founded in 1969. It has been successfully operating more than 50 years already as an internationally recognized program providers, and our students population 3,800. As I mentioned, there are two campuses in KUS, and with faculty and the students ratio 15:1, and we offer programs in the five undergraduate program levels, and we offer 5 postgraduate programs. When it comes to international students numbers, we are so proud to have achieved 700 international students and coming from over 65 different nationalities in different countries. And in addition, we are so proud to welcome additional 400 international students this September alone from 69 different countries. Next. We partner with the world-class universities around the world. For example, we partner with the University of California, Irvine, San Diego, University of California, Irvine, the Ohio State University, and my point is that they see the KUS as the same quality in the academic program provider with their quality. So in other words, you can expect the same quality of education at KUS that you would expect from these world-famous, world-class universities that has a partner with the Kyoto University of Advanced Science. Next, please. Why KUS? For reasons. One is we focus on practical providing the opportunities students to learn academics through a practical experience. We are number two. We have a very strong career development centers that really helps international students explore job opportunities with the Japanese companies in Japan after graduation. Number three, we offer a very strong Japanese language programs in addition to your major academic programs, so that you can be a good Japanese, excellent Japanese language speakers. And by the time that you graduate, that we put you in an advantageous position where you can explore with a great job opportunity with the Japanese companies. Lastly, all our programs conducted 100% in English language by international professors. So we don't require any prior Japanese language knowledge before you apply to KUS. Okay. Next, please. So we do have a lot of, as I mentioned, we do have a lot of international students from over 70 different countries. To help them, we do have a very strong support system, as you can see here. Next, please. Our students themselves organize students-led activities throughout the years to entertain themselves, and as you can see here. Next, please. And there are a lot of extra activities if you're interested. We do have a tea ceremony club, for example. We also have a football club as well, just for an example. Thank you. And the part-time jobs are also available in Japan. And international students legally work up to 28 hours for an experience. Next, please. And monthly living expenses are by world standards and are very reasonable, as you might have noticed if you take a look. The last column of the chart, it will be around $800 per month, including accommodation, food, personal expenses. So you may think that going to Japan to live and going to Japan as a student might be costly, which is not true anymore. Actually, coming to Japan as a student, and actually one of the most affordable option available in the world. Next, please. So I'd like to talk about our beautiful international dormitories, as you can see here. Now we run a lot of international dormitories under the KUS housing property management systems. Well maintained, they are all well maintained, maintain high quality, hygienic hygiene environment, as you can see here. And not only that, there is no rooms for sharing, meaning that all rooms available at a KUS and KUS housings, all private, all to yourself. I'm sure you love it. Thank you. And career support. Next, please. So our career support is, so even from the day one you are stepping as a student, you may have education for career development. And throughout the whole years, it means that the 4 years, you'll be constantly fed the information, also even not just the information about your career, also how to analyze yourselves to become a more strong job applicant compared to other applicants. And because of that, okay, next, please. Because of that, we are so proud. I am so proud to share that the KUS has achieved the 98.3% successful job placement rate for the most recent graduate. Not just the 98.3%. If you take a look at the great list of great companies that the most recent graduate secure employment at, they are all world-class, first-class companies. Thank you. And also, we are so proud to let you know, share that our recent graduates has been admitted to world-class, very prestigious universities like New York University and the University of New South Wales for postgraduate programs. Also, if you are living in the European side, you may be surprised that you are one of our recent graduates even has admitted to École Polytechnique, which is the elite engineering elite schools as a Grandes Écoles in France, and which really makes us proud. Also, a technical university Denmark, and also followed by the world-ranked Japanese university as well. Oh, next, please. Okay, so we have three English standard programs at the undergraduate level: engineering, bioscience, and the business programs. Next, please. So if you if you're good at both physics, math, so you should think about our engineering program, because our program is really unique, where you can learn the mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and artificial intelligence, computer science, and IT technology, all combined in one big chunk. Okay. Next, please. And not only that, when you become our third year students, you'll be required to work closely regularly with the people from the industry. You meet with them at least once a week as a part of our regular curriculum, and you can even expect to have programs that organized by them, and you can work out. You will be required to work out your own solutions, even prototype and device that can be the great solution to their problems. That's how we develop our students to become instrumental engineers and practical engineers even before graduation. Next, please. We do have a graduate school of engineering. Next, please. And also we have bio-environmental sciences programs as well. If you're really concerned about environment and also climate change, agricultural production, pharmaceutical or devices, and also work on the pharmaceutical or aspects, you should think about bio-environmental sciences. Next, please. And next, please. And this bioscience program also comes with a capstone project. If you remember, this is where you are also required to work very closely and regularly with the people from the industry while with us, while at KUS with us as students. Next, please. Yes, we do have a graduate school in bio-environmental sciences if you are interested. Next, please. Yes, so I am pleased to introduce our business administration program as well. And because Kyoto, which is our city, is the hub of technology companies, and I'm sure you've heard about the Pokemon, yeah, which is a world famous gaming platforms throughout the world for younger generations. And The company that produces the Pokemon actually headquartered in our city, Kyoto. My point is that this is the evidence that Kyoto is the hub of technology, and that's the main reason that we decided to develop these programs to provide great knowledge, skills that helps the younger generation, international crowds become successful business people after graduation. This program also comes with a capstone project. And next, please. And also, we are so proud to develop the launch of MBA program as well, in addition to the undergraduate levels this year. Okay, next, please. Okay, this is the university tuition fees structure. And engineering charge you $15,000 and the bioenvironmental science is also the same. Whereas business administration charge you $12,000 per year. Yes, we do have our scholarship programs, very strong scholarship programs for highly qualified students in the form of a tuition reduction by 100%, 50%, and 20%. Next, please. Yeah, so even if you are not offered a scholarship at the time of admission, good news is that as long as you be success or you are successful in demonstrating your high exemplary academic aptitude during your first year after enrollment, from the second year, you'll be offered a graduate scholarship in the form of tuition reduction by 100% or 50%, depending on your first years of the GPA, as you can see here. Okay, how to apply KUS undergrads. To make a longer story short, only 2 steps. One, first step, gather all the required documents. Second step, upload it. That's it. Very simple. Upload on our application portal. That's it. Very simple. And then you can wait for the results to be announced. Very simple. Next, please. And just please note that we take students in rolling admission basis, meaning that first come, first reviewed. First come, first reviewed. The important for you to understand that in this way, once we have reached the capacity, we're going to have to close the application windows very quickly. So if you are interested, I highly recommend that you apply early and you wait for the results. Thank you. Next, please. And the required documents, and if you, I just want to focus your attention on NCC Level 3 qualifications. Next, please. And this is the English language requirements. Next, please. And as I already discussed, engineering requires you to take further math and physics and level 3 in NCC level 3, and biology, chemistry for our bioscience programs. And for our business programs, once we decided the qualification levels, now we want to make a public announcement to the NCC students later. So just wait. Thank you very much for great patience for this qualification required for our business program. Yeah, thank you. So next, please. Next, please. Next, please. Yeah, thank you. So just for your information, if you remember, that we also ran a very strong postgraduate programs as well. So we started taking applications starting from October 1st, December 1st, 2026, and just for your information. Next, please. Yeah, thank you very much. And if you're a student, respectful, full of integrity, responsible, on and on, and then you should think about applying to KUS, because you're most likely you're gonna be a great matching to our learning environment, the culture of learning at KUS. Next, please. Yeah, I'll pause here, and if you pause here, and then you can take a screenshot and then the QR code here, and so that you can stay connected with us. Okay, thank you very much for your kind attention. This is the end. This is the end of my presentation. Thank you for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Kiyoshi. That was a fantastic, very comprehensive presentation. Thank you. We will share a recording, usually within a week of the session, so people will be able to refer back to it, but also we will be able to share those QR codes so that attendees can go on and follow those links. Thank you both. I will now hand over to Stacey to talk to us about quill learning and the application support.
Thank you, Becky, and thank you to both the universities. It's been so interesting to learn more about that. So quill learning helps support students with applying to these two universities. So if you are an NCC Education student who's about to graduate, or a graduate who's interested in going to these universities, at quill learning, we help support you with the application process. So we help you through in terms of what are the entry requirements, what you need in order to apply, how to apply, and all the details that go together with those. So if you are interested in any of the programs that were mentioned today, you can get in touch with us. After the session, like Becky said, we will share out the recording. We'll also share out an email just to give you a little recap of what was discussed in the meeting today with the presentation, and to give you all the key information that you need. If you would like more information, you can actually join our Telegram group by scanning the QR code, or you can send an email to inquiry@quill-learn.com. So that's it from me. Thank you, Becky. If anyone has any questions for quill learning, you can just drop it into the chat.
Thank you, Stacey. Can't see any questions in the Q&A section myself, but I'm just having a look at the chat. I can see here there is a question regarding acceptance of the GED. I think that's a question for you, Bernice. I think, okay, if we have a look at the question from Gigi Serenate, can students work part-time? Yoshi, would you like to take that one?
Okay. So how many hours per week? Is that the question? Sorry.
Exactly. How many hours per week can students work whilst in study period? Okay.
So even international students can work up to 28 hours per week legally. And even better news is that you can work up to 40 hours during long breaks, like winter, summer breaks, with spring break, depending on individuals or universities. But unlike some other countries, in Japan, the programs are really intense, generally. So I would recommend that you can work part-time just for an experience, but it's not ideal for you to think about working part-time job or to earn some money to cover your tuition cost, which is not a realistic option available when it comes to choosing in Japan. as a destination.
Is it quite difficult in terms of, I know you mentioned career opportunities after completing the degree program. There's a very good success rate, but part-time opportunities while studying, is that slightly more difficult for international students to?
Yeah, slightly different. So let me take an example of our engineering programs. If you remember, well, students are very busy to understand every single important component of engineering, artificial engineering, computer science, and IT programs, and mechanical engineering, all combined, not just one of them as well. So our programs content are really intense, meaning that our students are going to have a lot of assignments on daily basis, regular basis to complete. So my point is that during the weekdays, it's not realistic. It's not realistic for students to go outside to work part-time for a while and come back to completing their assignments, which is not a realistic option.
Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Yep.
We also have a question from Dr. Rajit Lal about visa requirements. Are you able to talk about that, Kiyoshi?
Sure. So visa, as long as so visa process is a lot easier than applying to some other universities for example, in America, so maybe in Europe. And actually, we're gonna help as a team. We're gonna help you to apply for a visa. Requiring you to necessary document. Requiring you send the required documents to us. After you have been accepted, admitted, you complete the tuition payments and required tuition payment, and then we're gonna begin the visa entry process, application process.
So the visa process comes before the application.
Visa before visa application process. So after we confirm that students have completed the complete and necessary payment as a part of tuition, and then we begin the visa application process. We are asking students to send us their bank statement or income statement of the parents, and we check it, and then once we confirm that the students can have a strong sufficient capacity to support themselves financially 4 years to study with us, and then we, on behalf of them, we apply to Japanese immigration bureaus for their visa.
Thank you very much. We have another question from Mio Coco about confirming that after finishing the NCC Level 3 International Foundation Diploma, students can apply for first year directly to NUCB and KUAS. Yes, that is correct. But as Kiyoshi mentioned, there are prerequisites depending on which faculty you are interested in. So for physics, it's the further maths, and for the biology, it's chemistry or biology. But we will reshare obviously those slides and the presentation so you can look back on that. And in terms of business, as Kiyoshi mentioned, we are just waiting for that kind of final mapping to be confirmed in terms of the prerequisite units that need to be completed at level 3. And for NUCB, Bernice, is there any further information on that?
So we don't require any prerequisites, so you can apply for the first year, but then again, you have to go through the same admissions process as all students who apply for the program. So it's not just NCC diploma, but you also have to submit the rest of your academic transcripts, how you've been doing at school, and also required documents and the interview. Yeah.
Thank you very much. We have a question from Vianney about completing the NCC Level 7 diploma. So that is our postgraduate diploma in business management. Is it possible to apply to the postgraduate programs at your universities?
For NUCB Business School, no, I don't think an agreement has been discussed yet with the NUCB Business School side, so I can't speak for them. I can only speak for the undergraduate side, so no, on our side.
For KUS, so I'd recommend that he or she send his level 3 qualifications to us in advance, so that we can put them through in the individual, what we call individual eligibility screening process. And once we are confirmed that he is eligible to apply to us, and then he could apply to our MBA programs and maybe a graduate school of bioenvironmental science, or could be an engineering program as well.
Thank you. That might be something we can follow up on in future in terms of looking at the postgraduate opportunities. But at the moment, we are just focused on the level 3 direct entry to year 1.
Yep.
Thank you. And also your further question about scholarships. Yes, both Kyoshi and Bernice talked about scholarships available. So again, that will be available in the recording, that information. Thank you. Are there any further questions? I can't see any further questions in the chat function. Oh, apologies. Just as I was saying that, one more came through. So how about NCC level 5 student can attend for final year directly or need to start from year 1? So at the moment, Mio Coco, it is just the level 3 that we're talking about in terms of the recognition from KUAS and NUCB. They recognise the level 3 International Foundation for Diploma, International Foundation Diploma for Higher Education Studies for entry onto year 1. Obviously, as I mentioned, we're always looking to expand our progression routes and opportunities for students. So where that is possible, we will look to do so. But at the moment, as the kind of recognition and agreement stands, it's just a level 3. Okay. Thank you all so much for these comments. This feedback is really helpful in terms of level 4 opportunities, level 5 opportunities. We will definitely continue to work on those options and work with universities to provide more progression and articulation routes. We are coming to the end of the session now, so I would just like to thank a huge thank you to our very special guests, Bernice and Kyoshi from NUCB and KUAS. Thank you so much for your wonderful and comprehensive presentations. I know there was a lot of information to get through and it was fantastic. And I know that I think our attendees will have further questions once they've had chance to digest some of that information. So we will share the recording with your contact details and the various QR codes. So if any follow-up questions come in, obviously we can direct them to yourselves as well. I would like to thank Stacey for your support with the webinar and for your information about Quill. And I would like to thank all our attendees today for joining us. Your participation is greatly appreciated. And I hope to see you all at the next session very soon. Thank you very much and have a great day. Rest of the day.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.